next speaker is also a very special one. He's come to DefCamp all the way from China, and we had the chance to interview him for the DefCamp blog. So when we asked why he comes to conferences like these, he told us this. It matters to me because the hacker community is quite unique, as hackers around the world are somewhat connected like family. So meeting with family members is important. So we really, really enjoy this because for us it's like Hacker Christmas to have DefCamp each November. So Jun Lee, our next speaker, is a senior security researcher at 360 Unicorn team of Security Research Institute. And he's author and co-author of multiple security books. His research's focus includes connected cars, wireless communication, hardware security, and many, many other topics. He's presented this research at conferences like Black Hat, DEF CON, HITB, and now at DefCamp. He's also the trainer in the ISC and co-founder of the first DEF CON group in China, 010 in Beijing. So in his talk, he'll go through those attack vectors that he's been studying for such a long time, and he'll share plenty of real-world examples with us. So please join me in welcoming Jun Lee to the stage.
Oh, okay. I'll grab my computer. Okay. Oh, okay. Thank you for the warm welcome. Actually, before I came here, I planned to in my talk to cover all the gaps that the security community has been facing in my opinion, because when I was doing car security research, I found out that the R&D department at the automobile manufacturers, they don't pay much attention about security, and the security community there is significant gap to understand how automotive work, how the canvas, how the different ECU works. So after I realized that problem, I actually wrote a book about it. So first, let me introduce myself. As the hostess already introduced, I'm a member of Unicorn team at 360. 360 is a Chinese security company. We have antivirus and other security solutions. So I also started the DefCon Group 010, which is a hacker community in Beijing based. So that's how I actually met some people from Romania, and that's how I'm here. So I'm glad to find out that I'm only Asian face here. So it's kind of feel obliged to introduce you guys to the Chinese hacker community and also the Chinese internet security industry as a whole. So I have been president, actually my team members and me have presented at those conferences as well. So these are the books we wrote. The first one is the book I mentioned about connected car security. It's in this book, I hope to bridge the gap between the two communities, the automobile R&D community and the security community. So a lot of real-world examples of car hacking stuff. So the second one is wireless, which I will show you many demo videos about. And the third one is a translation in English of the middle one. So it's for the past 5 years, we have been doing wireless security, car security, and hardware security a lot. So this one is we got recognized by Tesla, and we found this wireless protocol vulnerability of Tesla, and we submit to them, and they thank us on their website. So it's this one is for signal network security. It's we found this 4G network downgrade attack. So we submitted to the CNVD, which is managing the standard for signal networks. So it's the #1 submission of their bug bounty program. So what can you get when you actually pull off certain attack against certain company. So you get invited to their party to meet your role model. So, so let's start our main contents. So what I'm going to talk about is like from the silicon to the cloud. So because when you're doing hardware research, you know that if you want to achieve the ultimate security, you have to be implemented in hardware, like storing the key or algorithm inside the secure processor, like enclave or ARM trustzone, something like that. But is that secure enough? We'll later find out because I'm not the expert at this, but my friends are. So I will tell you how the security processor, like a silicon chip, can be cracked or reverse engineered. Then I will talk about the communication security. By communication, I'm referring to like a pipe. You transfer data through the pipe to the cloud, to the other device, to the other nodes on the network. The communication protocol can be like Bluetooth, ZigBee, Xenon, and other network communication protocol. So finally, this cloud and server security is like, I think this is where all the conference talked about a lot. Many people are talking about this cloud security, backend security, like your SQL injections. That's will be classified in a third category. So starting from the silicon, this is kind of the whole security landscape we are facing. So you have this, this is like a chip or SoC. So inside it, you have the different module, like crypto module. You have this like graphic processing module, something like that. So then you solder this chip on the circuit board. So on the circuit board, there are other like attack vectors, like the different chips like communicating with each other using like serial communication or like buses or something like that. So that's another, that's our other like attack vectors. So, and then like you have this module. So one module can contain multiple circuit boards. So the modules can introduce another kind of attack. So then you come up with this like loads. I mean, by loads I'm referring to devices. It can be an IoT device, it can be a computer, it can be a server, something. So then it's a whole cyberspace. You connect those nodes to the internet. You are like facing attacks from all over the world. So starting from the silicon level, so actually security people, like they're always trying to find the shortest shortcut for hacking things. But if they can't, they will go to the extreme, like this one. They decap the chips. Usually for me, like when I do security testing, I usually don't go this far. But for some like of my friends, they really want to actually, they have to crack or hack something, they will go to extreme like this. And this is going to require high-end equipment, like the high-end microscope, and also the chemical procedure to actually decap this chip, and using the photon techniques and then some automatic software to process the image you taken from this silicon, and then reverse engineer the gate level net list. So. So if anybody has done any embedded research development, the vendor will always tell you, if you want to protect your firmware from being dumped, you should like burn the E-fuse or something. But is that enough? People are doing this. They're using like microprobes to actually to connect to the connection inside the chip and dump the firmware, something like that. So they are also using this technology, like a focused in beam, to actually editing the silicon after the decay. So they can make connection between the like the E-fuse node, E-fuse pads or something like that, and they can also like cut or edit. This technique is initially they use this one to like to maybe when they design chips, there are minor mistakes made. They will use this kind of techniques to rectify what the mistakes. But they are also misused to cracking like chips or to reverse engineer. So also they are used like for copyright verification. For example, if you doubt somebody are stealing your IP to produce chips, you can use this to actually reverse engineer their chips. So this is how the silicon look like when you actually using microscope to take the pictures, and you stitch the pictures together, and then use software to extract the net list, and then you can do analysis. This is kind of very, very small chip, only have a few pins, but you can see it's inside it, it's complex enough. So you'd have to use some automatic process to deal with this, because there are millions of gates in certain chips. So this is like the security people are dealing, what I say the security community is dealing with. Like most people are doing the application security, but like professional bug hunters, they are doing like with operating, they are trying to find operating system, they are trying to find like old days or something like that. Also, they have this like micro architecture level research. It's like just like the Intel chip security for last year. They are like at this level. But what I have just mentioned is like at the even lower level. They are dealing with this. Oh, okay. They're dealing with this like gate level. So like a lot of people are talking about like quantum computing or something like that. I think it's like this is the lowest level under the like I'm at. But I mean, quantum computer may pose threat in the future, but this is like what actually happening a lot now. Like so how to attack the silicon? Except from apart from this micro approach, you can also use other attack methods like the fault injection. An epic example of this one is like a very hilarious example would be this one. Let me show you. So this is an electronic lock, actually. It seems this video has been rotated somehow. I don't know why. Actually, so we use smart locks a lot, but when they designed this smart lock, they didn't use like Gaussian cage or anything to block the interference from outside the door. So you use like Tesla coil or something, and to emit the electromagnetic pulse, and then causing this failure on the circuit board, maybe causing because you're inducing current or voltage on certain traces of the circuit board. So it will cause this circuit board to reboot, or maybe causing some interrupt to trigger, and then the smart lock will automatically unlock. So that's kind of a classic example of fault injection, but that's not the only one. Recently, I think you may have heard the news that somebody used laser to like activate the voice controlled speakers, like the Amazon Alexa or something like that. So they are using laser to activate those. But most electromagnetic pulse are the most commonly used, and also power glitch. So this is how you inject the fault inside the chip, because you cannot see what's running there. So let me show you. So we just introduced the fault injection. Fault injection, I think I should go more detail, because many people are using this a lot, because when you do certain, like, for example, if you are doing certain research and there's like you get stuck in the hardware, actually, because the certain computation and are done inside the hardware. You can do nothing about it. So you can use a power glitch or something to introduce fault, may causing the program to run to different branches. So you can actually dump firmware or something. So this is fault injection. So the side channel analysis is it's also you have to be very familiar with how the chip works inside the chip. It's like the gate level, how to transfer different states, because to transfer the states at the gate level, you are consuming the power. So that will causing the power trace to change. Then you can analyze the power trace to actually infer what's going on inside the chip, and thus infer the key. But there are lots of algorithms and models you use to do this. It's general how does it work is like this. You sample this how the device is consuming power. You're using this telescope or using this oscilloscope to sample the power trace, and then you use a specific research area they are come up with many models, many kind of transformation to analyze this trace and then infer the keys. So we talked about the silicon level attacks. Now we are going to talk about the on-chip interfaces. So that's because we have now have been using SoC a lot. Inside the SoC is you not only have the CPU, ROM or RAM, you also have this different you can say coprocessor or ASIC to process different tasks like graphics, crypto. So you have this interface inside this SoC between the CPU and those modules or elements or ASIC. One of those could be ASIC to run, doing the proprietary crypto algorithm and store the keys or something. So another example would be the AI coprocessor. Many chips come with AI accelerator, there you can run neural network or something like that. But many applications are sharing that. They are sharing that ASIC, could be crypto or AI. So when one application done using this, there sometimes will happen what will happen is this application configured this coprocessors to do certain tasks. For example, using certain machine learning model and to run on this coprocessor. So what will happen is that after this application done using this coprocessor, it will release this resource to other application. So that if the cleanup wasn't done correctly, this application may be able to dump the model or parameters of these applications proprietary model or something like that. So this is one of the attacks can happen inside the SoC. So actually, it's already we tested some. It's already happened that certain photo processing application they have this model to extract features to apply filters to your photo or certain effects to your photo. Those are models that train themselves, and they got you can actually extract those models from the SoC. So this is how you do analysis. This is a typical working desktop for the analyzer. They have this disassembly like IDA. I don't know if you can see it because this resolution is very no. So this IDA, you have this disassembly interface, and this is the SoC's datasheet. Inside this datasheet, you have this how to invoke the ASIC, like a crypto engine or something, how to interact with that ASIC, that module inside the SoC. And Then you have this binary. You will use search, like you can capture certain like packets from this CPU to the crypto or like ASIC, and then you have this reverse engineered netlist. This is like register level, like gate level schematic. Then you can analyze how this module is reacting to the CPU from the disassembly interface, and you can extract the RTL level, register transfer level algorithm, because those are proprietary algorithms are stored as hardware configuration in the ASIC. So it's not like AES or RSA stored in the room or something. It's actually hardware circuit. So this is how you do the chip SoC reverse engineer. So after the on-chip interface, we can like talk about the communication security. That would be like the communication between the chips or modules or devices. So this like an image I pulled out from the internet is like, you can see there's a microcontroller communicating with different sub-modules on this device. You have this like Bluetooth module, you have GPS module. So this is how typical IoT device work, actually. If you have ever done any Arduino development, you will know this. So sometimes, for example, if you want to get certain keys, like paired with this Bluetooth or like other modules, they are encrypted from the like radio interface, air interface, but they are in plain text on this, and those like communication interface, like UART, SPI, something like that. So you can use a like logic analyzer to actually capture the communication and then get the key or something. Sometimes, like the smart lock, they're using like a fingerprint scanner to sample your fingerprint image, but that fingerprint module is outside the door because you have to press on it. So that's how they communicate with the MCU main processor is using a serial interface. So if you are able to pull out this fingerprint scanner, you can actually sometimes spoof the fingerprint comparing result to unlock the door. That's how I actually tested on certain locks. So this is like the logic analyzer I use a lot to analyze smart devices. So let me show you some examples. So for the smart lock case, you have this like main board inside the door. You cannot access it, but there are modules like keyboard, like fingerprint scanner, like NFC reader to read the access card, and those communication interface with the MCU. It sometimes most of the time they don't encrypt it, so you can actually analyze and you can develop using an Arduino or something to write embedded code to control the interface to prove this sub-module and to unlock the door or something like that. So this is onboard communication like for iPhone C interface. It's like I2C interface. It's I think most of you may already know this. So this is what I have been talking about. So this is the physical boundary for like a smart lock or other device. Like this part, you cannot access it, but this part, you can. So what you will do is to use this onboard application, onboard communication interface to attack this system. So this one's like fingerprint sensor using serial communication to this fingerprint module. So this module is responsible for like fingerprint image feature extraction. and comparing and storing. So many like fingerprint modules, they store the templates, they call fingerprint features that are templates. So they store the templates, and once you press your finger, it will compare the feature it's extracted from this sensor with the template it's stored in this module. So, and then the main CPU will get a result. So how, like, the result would be like the percentage, how 90% match with the stored template. So there would be a threshold in the MCU saying that if it's the match is above like 90%, I can unlock the door, something like. So this interface now, because we reported many bugs to the vendors, they're now starting to encrypt this part. But this part, they're not, it's still not encrypting. So, but it's very hard to actually to do this because you have, this is kind of like a photo. They're transfer a photo. So you have to capture the photo. So you can actually like install a backdoor device to capture your user's fingerprint image and replay at this interface to unlock the door. It's not as convenient as to attack from this part. You can directly spot the comparing result. So, so for the communication interface, those are the tools we developed ourselves to actually to attack those communication links. This is for Ethernet, this is for UART, this is for protection, like protect you from like USB, attack from USB interface. That's bus pirate, can supporting like SPI, UART, many kind of onboard protocol. So here we comes wireless communication. So for wireless communication, like all protocols are secure until it is broken. So what does this mean? Is like, so like 4G network, before the vulnerability is being released, they think 4G are the secure network. Like they're more secure than GSM or GPRS, something like that. But when new vulnerability come out, they will say, oh, 4G is not secure, let's expect 5G to be secure. Then 5G's vulnerability being released. So don't trust any pipe, any communication protocol. You just focus on the device you can control, the server you can control. So the pipe between those, like, you cannot trust them. So here I will show you a few demos about how you like exploiting different wireless communication. Like this one is used for relay NFC, like the bank card. I will show you a demo video. This one is for protecting from against those. That one is to attack automobile, like car's passive keyless entry system. So that one is for Wi-Fi protection. We can actually block certain connection from certain device to certain router or something. This one is for Wi-Fi pineapple, used to like set up like malicious Wi-Fi hotspots. So this is USRP for SDR stuff. We use this to spoof like GPS signal. We like transfer the exact same signal like the satellites and to spoof the like your phone or something. I will show you a video. So this is a Ubuntu tools used to capture Bluetooth packets and then to like attack Bluetooth devices. So let's starting from the car case. So how the car key, like passive keyless entry system work is like you have this key in your pockets. Once you approach the car, there will be the car is constantly transmitting this like 125 kilohertz radio, and you will once this key realize that radio, like this distance to realize this will be like within 2 meters. This is how the car manufacturers like intended. But once this car key realize this signal, receive this signal, they were using like higher frequency, like 350 and 15 megahertz to reply to the car. That's this like two-way communication starts, and then doing all kinds of authentication, and then unlock the door automatically, so you don't have to pull out your car key anymore. How we attack this? Okay, let me show you a video. Oh, sorry. So it's like the driver, he wants to buy a couple of both buy his car. We built the device, one of the character device, just near with the manufacturer. And the latest my device and the car. That's how we steal the car. It's very simple. And the distance can be like up to 300 meters. So it's pretty dangerous and it's not possible. So this is the, you can like, it's like an NFC or RFID tag. This is the like ancient cars are using, still broken. So this is for the NFC. So like your bank card, like Apple Pay. I'll show you how to tap it. So this device is just like Apple Pay. How long the distance between the card and the device would be like the distance between your Apple phone to the reader. So you have to buy ourselves a drink. So you choose the drink. Okay, so here comes the payment interface. So you choose Apple Pay, that means NFC. So use this device too. So successful. So imagine that you are like line up for the order and somebody using a device like approaching and pocket, and then you use this device to pay. It's pretty useful attack. So cellular network, we use it a lot, like two-factor authentication. Like we're using like let's see. So because the talk is kind of carry a lot of content in areas like from the silicon to the cloud, we cannot go to the detail. But this is the talk we have done in Black Hat. So if you want to know more about this one, you can check it out. So this is like the normal calling procedure. You use one phone to call another. So this right side is the victim, and another side is just like normal your friend or somebody. So let's start with the attack. So this comes down, you can see, we will use your friend's phone to call you again, but this time the call will be hijacked by the computer. So let's call again. So you will never be able to receive this call again because it has been taken over by the attacker. You can see the call has been answered by the attacker. So it only takes like 1 minute. So this is like the using 4G network. But before this attack, this thing is secure, but actually when it's come, 1 minute now. So now let's see the text message. So this can be used to attack the two-factor authentication, like reset. Actually, we were able to reset all the accounts using two-factor authentication, like the same as two-factor authentication, like Google, Gmail. So we are sending this message to the victim, but the victim is not receiving it. So we can control if the victim can receive the message or not. So actually, so we mentioned that we are going to bridge the gap between different group of people or community. This is how we do it. Like the developers, they would automatically assume that this SMS channel is secure. This SMS pipe is secure. We have to show them it's not. So it's up to them to actually to implement the more secure two-factor authentication, like FIDO device. It's a USB token or something. Or even they can use like Google Authenticator approach to do this. That would be more secure. And so like the cellular network, this is another example about how to use a cellular network to hack stuff. So this is actually done by German researchers. So how much time do I have now left? 10 minutes. Okay. So this is one of the modules on the BMW cars. And this in the middle is attacking fake base stations. So it's like the car should be normally connected to the cellular network operator's base station, but when it's under attack, it will be connected to this one. And after connecting to this one, it will like request a command to the servers, like because the command was set up by the user using application. For example, they want to unlock the door. You will first like request to the server. The server would get the wrong command ready and will send a short message to wake up the car, and the car will then issue HTTP request to request the command from the server, and it execute the command like unlock the door or something. So what the problem is that they are storing the keys in this like GSM modem. So if you're using the space station to capture the traffic, you will say it's encrypted. But you reverse engineer this module, the key, encryption key is inside it. So that's why I talked about the chip reverse engineering from the beginning. So you extract the encryption key from here, and now you can like you have the key, you can spoof the server. You redirect this traffic to your attacker server. Let me show you. So actually, I have already said that's how they extract the keys. So the keys, so we can skip this actually. So, okay, they have this like kind of different kind of like encryption or message integrity check algorithm and different kind of keys. So how they attack? How do the attack? Like the fake base station will send the wake up SMS message to the car. So and then the car will request command from the server, but the server now is impersonated by the attacker because the attacker got the key from the hardware. So it will be able to talk to this car to issue fake commands. Now return commands. So it's pretty like pretty straightforward to demonstrate the idea I'm trying to convey is that if you want your system to be secure, it has to be cooperation between different group, different sides. For example, the server security guy and the hardware security guy. So how to do this? If you want to secure this, it's pretty simple, right? You can just use a certificate and use like a better key management scheme, like use a different key for different car, verify the server certificate, so you are not you cannot get the private key, you will not be able to spoof the server, some kind of thing like that. But this has to be done like coordinately with different party. So so because I just mentioned that like security, many people at this conference have been talking about like cloud security, web security, like or even like corporate network security. So the cloud security, I'm not going to talk about it much. So the secure elements in the ECO is just for nowadays, this is kind of a basic security measure you should implement. And so many attacks are pertaining to this firmware like upgrade or like firmware replacement attack, like you using update interface to download the firmware to certain device. If the device is not verifying the signature or of the firmware, it could execute the malicious firmware. So mutual authentications among electronic control unit is like in the car case, the automobile scenario, the different ECUs cannot be trusted because there are like maybe attacked like the multimedia module there on the canvas. So if that module get compromised, you will send a message to other ECU on the network. So you should do mutual authentication even between. So this is just for the automobile scenarios. But even on the circuit board, different module, different chips should do mutual authentication, just like the smart lock, the fingerprint scanner should do authentication with the MCU. They should share using asymmetric encryption to authenticate each other. So so this is like another example, like how you deal with this gap, because many people would think that we have implemented authentication and encryption in the car key and the automobile. That will be secure. But this this kind of relay attack, the most likely they didn't realize it because they think it's impossible to do this because radio is very fast. So they just okay, they have to introduce another parameter to actually get this clear. When you do the car key relay attack, I said that we can achieve up to 300 meters. The reason we can only achieve that distance, we did try using 4G network or using Wi-Fi or something to get even longer distance, but you will introduce additional latency or delay. So when they developed this system, they made that delay can be very large. So we can use relay up to 300 meters, but not enough for 4G network to relay the authentication packets. So how you deal with this kind of gap is you have this security team. You have to talk with the radio development team to say, is it possible, physically possible, to relay the signal to attack this system? So this is a paper that actually addressed the problem of radio distance bounding. So they're measuring the time of flight of the radio signal. So they used to before this, they didn't use this kind of method. It would be physically possible to read the signal. But if they are using this one, using time of flight to measure the distance. That's how the radio is traveling at the speed of light, right? So they're just measuring the time difference between the signal get transmitted and received. So that's the physical limitation you cannot break. So that's to prevent that kind of a relay attack. So the communication is still security. We still doing this, talking about this pipe security. You have to apart from the security, you cannot spoof the message. You cannot replay the message. You have to concern with the privacy. So this is a scenario in the automobile where they authenticate each other's safety messages, like this security credential management server. they're managing the certificate for the cars. So the cars cannot can authenticate each other to say, like, for example, the car will transmit, I'm traveling at a certain direction at a certain speed, and the car receive it can verify. But the problem is that they can track you, like for example, like this like SSL security. You have this server hello, client hello. You have to exchange credential, like certificates. In that process, people actually can get the credential, so they can. That's how they can track you. But in the like mobile phone or computer scenario, that's not a very serious problem. But for the car scenario, if you get tracked, it can be like, this is kind of very sensitive privacy information. So apart from that, you have to, so the security team have to work with the privacy team to actually to realize this problem before this goes to the vendor, to the user. So for the hardware, actually, the reason I put this slide is because recently I have found multiple bugs for a certain vendor, and the bugs is not remotely updatable. So if they want to address this issue, they have to issue a recall. So that will cause like substantial loss, maybe even the company. The CEO actually told me, if you really want us to recall, my company will actually die. So just shut up and take my money. So before you actually get your product to the user, you have to like implement, like you have to think about thoroughly like how your product can be hacked. Even like the attack vector has been protected using certain mechanism, but you still have to manage the update interface because you don't know how hackers will hack your system. So remotely updatable is very important. So this is like still using a car as an example, but what I was talking about is like a router, smart lock, other device. So the communication, I've been talking about this. It's like don't trust anyone on the communication link. That's the pipe. Only rely on what you have absolute control over to implement your security. Next, the SMS as a second factor is an epic example for this idea. It's like you cannot trust what you cannot control. So, okay, so that's basically so. So cloud security, I just want to briefly mention that the only one slide for cloud security. So it's like, this is a demo that I bought this like GPS tracker, but I later found out they're not using like basically security measures. So I can actually use other people's phone number to track them using their system. It's very easy. So this is like in Chinese. So this is a location, how much time you have, you are like keep stationary there, and how much battery you have left or something. So that's up to this cloud security, the backend security people, to actually protect that. So I don't know if I get my idea through. If you have any question, please shoot. Okay. So
thank you for that super insightful look. Sir, go ahead.
Yeah, it's like I'm not a native speaker, so you can ask question. I will be able to understand because you'll have translators.
We have time for questions anyway, so okay, go ahead, sir.
Hello. Congratulations on your presentation. It was very complete. And the attack that caught my attention the most might not be one of the most complicated ones. I am speaking about relaying. And
because we cannot crack the crypto.
And suppose I buy myself that model of car.
Yeah.
I do not receive updates. What would be the solution to mitigate such a theft?
You have to stop using that feature by putting your keys inside the Gaussian cage or something.
Yes, that was
Yeah.
what I was thinking about as well.
Yes, that's the only way you can prevent this kind of attack.
And as I understood, the research paper aims at repairing exactly that thing.
But it's not, the problem is because in the last slide I mentioned the remotely operate the system. You have to keep that capability to remotely operate. If you can remotely update the firmware or like something in the car key, you can actually address the problem by replace the original like distance measuring by using like radio strings to the like measuring the time of flight. So you can mitigate the problem. But the problem is that you cannot remotely do that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Cool. Awesome. Next question. Don't forget we have hats for you. I know that people crave them usually. Please keep your hand up.
Hi, thanks for the presentation. I was just wondering on the last slide with the cloud and the tracking device, was that a MediaTek tracker and the SE tracker app you were looking at?
Oh, that's the tracker I use to secure my mobile,
Your car.
my motorcycle because
Yeah.
like I caught two thieves trying to steal my motorcycle. I use that because it has a remote recording. You can actually listen to the audio. You can like locate it. You can, if there is any shack, if there's somebody moving my bike, it will notify me using mobile application. But the problem is that they didn't do like proper segregation, so you can actually using the mobile phone to do some transformation because you can reverse engineer the application. There's a certain algorithm to actually like enumerate the server's data to get other people's location.
Yeah,
So it's like this things can happen a lot because those kind of applications usually developed by the maker community, not the hacker community. So the maker community is like using Arduino or other like readily available module I just mentioned, like fingerprint scanner, like serial keyboard or something. They just pull it together, just use what the vendor already used, providing the protocol like serial protocol, not encrypted, to assemble a product. So those platforms are usually developed by those kind of people, not any like security measure implemented. So we not only this platform, we have a lot of like the aftermarket ODB dongle for the cars to use the remotely unlock the car or monitoring the car. The ODB dongle, you buy this device, plug into your car. So those systems also like we found like many cars we can track using their platform. Yeah.
Thank you.
Cool. Awesome. We have another question there. Keep your hand up.
Oh, by the way, if you want to know more detail, you can come to China because China is like, especially Shenzhen, they're like very good people doing this reverse engineering. I'm not saying a copyright problem, but it's like their technique. I'm only care about their technique you're using is very amazing.
Personally, I found really interesting the low-level silicon or chip-level attacks,
Yeah.
like the EMP attacks. And my question is, how could we mitigate them?
Actually, so this I mentioned that attack is very hilarious because it was the video go viral on the internet in China is because a certain nanny use a kind of block box and use a block box and turn on the switch and go to there's a expo for like smart devices. So she goes to the expo and turns on the switch. I don't know who gave her this device, and he goes to the smart locks and goes through them, and like 3 or 5 of those locks unlock themselves automatically. So that video says, oh, the nanny can open the smart lock. It's like, it's not that secure. So it's not the case. When we test this, because whether it's intentionally or not intentionally, the vendor, the circuit board is always like blocked, usually blocked by certain metal stuff, metal case or metal front panel. Maybe they're intended used to block to prevent the hacker from get to the circuit board, but that's also acting as a Gaussian cage. So not all of the, most of the smart lock cannot be unlocked using that way. But if you want to do that, you can use find a certain hole and then insert the antenna and then do that. But it's very hard to find a certain location that will react to this kind of attack, because what I know of is that they're using like a syndication protocol and through Drone-Shore protocol, and will use multiple trigger line to actually activate the motor driver. There might be two line or 3 line. One is for the power supply of this whole motor driver, and 2 for the rotation or direction control. So it's very hard to use in one the Tesla coil to activate all those chips to a certain right state, you know.
Thanks for the answer and really nice presentation. I found
Thank
it
you.
really interesting.
Cool, thank you. We have time for one more question. So if you have it, this is the moment. Here. Just a second.
Sorry. Hi, this is more fun. Have you tried to hack something and didn't manage?
What?
I mean, from your presentation, you managed to hack everything.
Yes. So I didn't mention how I introduced too much about my company, because I don't want here to felt like a vendor pitch. But my company is a big company. Like we used to have 10,000 people. We are belong to the Security Research Institute. What we do is we do like novel research. That means many people won't hack it. We will try to hack it, like the satellites. So these devices, we bought them. If you want to hack them, we just buy them and hack them ourselves. I don't have to be asked by our supervisors to do some certain research. So that's why we hack everything. So because we feel it will be
nice.
fun. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So no question now.
Thank you so much.
Okay.